everyone, welcome back. I'm so happy you're here and you popped over to see what I am up to. For everyone who is new here, welcome. My name is Janny and I'm doing this all about Christmas channel. Of course, on this channel you will find lots and lots of seasonal decor DIYs and daily decor DIYs. If you like this content and you're not subscribed to my channel, of course I hope you will click the red subscribe button and give me a thumbs up and hit the bell so you will be notified every time I upload new DIYs. Of course I keep it short, but if you want to see more DIYs, come on over to my description box. There you find the link for our DIY channel, so go check it out. Enough talking, we are going to start a brand new DIY. Here you see what we will use for this DIY. Of course, our tumbling tile blocks. I have my bag with half blocks. So if you don't have the half blocks, just take a package of your blocks and saw them in half, because you need a couple of them. I always have them laying around. We need a couple of the a couple of the smaller blocks. We need, of course, if you want to use it, some wax or some staining, some paint at your choice. I'm going to use my wood glue. I have, of course, some cutters, some brushes, some markers. And of course I have my saucer with some an old piece of kitchen towel, and he is wet because we need a wet towel to wipe away the glue we don't need. But if you use the glue gun, of course you can use the glue and you use some glue sticks. So these are a little bit of the main pieces you need for this DIY. And what we're going to make, kind of a farmhouse truck, but with a twist a little bit different than normally. So we are going to make two pieces of a truck. So a side truck on this side and a side truck on this side. And then we're going to make something in between, but that is for later. We are going to make, first I'm going to do one together with you. We are going to make 5 blocks, bigger blocks on each other. And later on in the DIY, you will see what you will use for this front truck for the smaller blocks. But first I'm going to make the bigger one. Again, 2 glue, of course the tops with some glue, and number 3 and number 4 and number 5 will be again the closure up, and this way. And we're going to make a straight line, squeeze it, press it together like this, and make sure that you have a nice straight line, because everything has to fit together. But of course sometimes you also have to work with blocks which are not always the same size. We're going to place it over here. We're going to make a set of 4 like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4 is again the closure up. And this way, squeeze it, press it down, and this way. And we try to get a straight line as much as we can. Of course, if you have a little bit too much glue, just get your wet old towel and just wipe it away and just lay it beside. And of course, make sure that your surface stays clean. Again, we're going to take 3 blocks. And we're going to do 3 blocks on top of each other. This is 1, this is 2, and the third one will be again a closure up. Again, move them beside and be sure that you have a straight line. Again, I can't say it enough. Sometimes I really sound like a recording record. I'm sorry, but I'm always trying my best to explain it to you the best I can. And I have to do it with the English I know. So I have 6 blocks of this one. And of course, I'm going to glue them again. And number 2. And a number 3. And I always hope that you also have a nice DIY the same like I make. And maybe, of course, you can change it up and make it even more better, more unique, and more maybe glam or maybe farmhouse. It doesn't matter, just give your own twist on it. And squeeze it, press it down, and we're going to let this part dry in for a couple of minutes. In the meantime, while these parts are drying, we're going to take 2 blocks. We're going to glue them on the tops this way and glue them together. Squeeze it, press it down, remove the glue, and you already have 1 part again. We are going to go now for 2 blocks, but we also going to do 2 half blocks on top. So if you don't, you see I have the half blocks, and I hope you really give it a try. Just use your jigsaw because it's so easy to work with. Of course, be careful, but sometimes a lot of ladies don't use their jigsaw because they think it's a little bit scary, but believe me, it is not scary because it's so much fun and you can make so many things with it. So of course, I hope you give it a try. I'm going to glue the half blocks on top of here. Make sure that you have them in a straight line, and this way squeeze it. And I'm going to do with this one the same, squeeze it and press it down in this way. And we're going to let this two also dry in. These parts are dried in for a couple of minutes. I'm going to take them, place the 5 block below. I'm going to squeeze this one in between because we don't need them a little bit later. We're going to use the 4 blocks. We are going to use the 3 blocks. We're going to turn this one turn and we're going to glue them together. Very easy. So we do some glue on the side, but we also do some glue on the underside. And we're going to place it over here. We're going to do some glue on the underside and also on this side. And we're going to place it over here. We're going to do here the same. We do some glue on the underside only because there is not a piece coming afterwards. So we're going to go and we glue this one together, and we're going to place this one over here. Make sure that this line is a little bit longer because here we're going to do, we call it here the Nederlands trekhaak. And that means that where you can put your car after. I show it to you later. Don't worry. It's better that I show it to you than I explain it to you. So again, we're going to squeeze it, press it down. This looks a little bit more like a bumper. So again, squeeze it. And we're going to let this dry in also. But what we're going to do, we are going to take, of course, our pieces like this, and we're going to use a full block like this. We're going to do some glue on each side, on this side and on this side. We're going to place it over here, and of course we have 1 block again, and we do only a little drop on this side, and on this side. And we're going to place it over here, and now we're going to do some glue on the underside of this one, lay it down, and do also on this side a little drop and lay it down. Of course, we use this as our measurement, and you see already we're going to glue this one over here, we're going to lay this one over here, we're going to lay this one over here, and we're going to squeeze this one inside of here. And now everything has to fit together like this, and this was only a measurement, so don't worry, you can have it later. And we're going to squeeze it, press it down. And now we're going to do some glue on this side, a little line, very easy, just a little line, because we are going to place this one straight up, the same like we did with the other one. Of course, sometimes you have to remove a couple of things, but that's the greatest. If not totally dry, you still can redo it. And again, squeeze it, press it, and we're going to let this dry in. But the last thing that we're going to need, we need one of the smaller blocks, and we cut it in half. So the smaller blocks, not the bigger blocks. But if you have, maybe you like a metal screw better, it's also fine too. And I'm going to place this again. I'm going to glue this over here. Very easy, just do some glue. And I'm going to place it over here and squeeze it and press it down. And now I'm going to let this rest for a couple of minutes. So you see, this is how he is turned out. And now it looks a little strange, believe me. I know it looks, it looks a little strange. But at the end, we hope we have a nice kind of a planter for a truck. So we will see how this will turn out. I'm going to make a second one, of course, the same like we did with this one. The only thing you have to be careful is that if you're going to make it, you're going to have to lay it on your table. Before you do this two and this one, turn it over to this side and then glue the pieces in here, because if you want to have them duplicate on the other hand, you don't want that these pieces are on the inside and they has to be on the outside. So be careful if you do this too, and this window, be careful that you glue them on the right way. So you can do this totally in each other, but when you do this too, just turn it over this way and just glue them over here. Then you have them also in the same way like you have the other one, or else you can place them next to each other. So I'm going to do this, the second one, a little bit faster. So I placed you a little bit more down. For everyone who uses the smaller blocks, this is how you can make the one with the smaller blocks for both sides. Of course, again, also for this part, it means if you're going to double it up for the second time, just turn around when you have this one and this one, turn it over and then glue them on top of here, because then you have the also two duplicates of each other. What are we going to start? We're going to start with 6 blocks of the smaller one. Then we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the smaller block this way, 3 this way, and we go further with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So again, 6 blocks like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3 this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 this way. Then you use 3 you're going to glue on each other like this one. You have this one loose, of course this one is loose, you can do it on the 3 in the front. You have to glue 2 together like this one. You place 1 over here, you place this one later on top, and if you double it up you have to do it on the other side, and this one in between. Just glue them together this way, the same like we did with the bigger blocks, and again glue this on top of here, and then you already have your own truck. If I have the smaller trucks, then I would go for I think maybe in the middle later when you use it for some screw, but that's later. Of course you need also 3 blocks, glue them together and make with your jigsaw a little round. Maybe you have a wood round laying in your stash is also fine, but if you make a little round, then you can make the wheels later for on top of here. So that's what you need for this 2 sides, and later I will show you the inside of this frame also. For the middle piece or the insert of our truck, we are going to make 4 blocks like this, and we're going to double them up. So at least we're going to do 3 of them. So it's maybe it's better that we make 4 pieces of 3 first. I think that's better explaining than what I did earlier. So very easy. We just make 4 compounds of 3. And again, of course, we use not our lid. So again, we're going to make 1 and number 3. And of course, number 3 will be the closure up, and this way squeeze it and press it down, and make sure that you have a nice straight line again like this. We're going to do again, this is 1 and this is 2, and again squeeze them together, make a nice straight line again, squeeze it and press it down because they want to go up. This is already number 2, and we're going to do a block number 3 again, and I'm going to do also in the meantime the same block number 4 again. We're going to squeeze them, press them together, squeeze and press it down, and make sure that you have a straight line again, and this way. And now again press them down, because this one, it still needs to, wants to come up. I don't know why, but what he does. And you get your original old towel, just wipe away the glue you don't need, and this way. And we're going to let this dry in for a couple of minutes. So they did dry in for a couple of minutes. We're going to get them lightly up. Be careful, because they still can fall apart, so be careful when you get them, but it doesn't matter if they fall apart. You still can redo them. And again, this will be the closure up, and this is the bottom of our truck for the middle piece. Again, squeeze it, press it down this way. Now we get, of course, again 3 blocks of 3, because we need them for the sides here, and of course 1 on the top. Again, 3 over here, and we're going to simply glue them together the same like we did with the other one above. Again, closure up, and 2, and of course closure up, and the last. And again, closure up, squeeze it, press it down, squeeze it, press it down, squeeze, press it down. And we're going to let this dry in also a couple of minutes. Now we have almost all our part, and we only need 1 of 4, because I am going to make 1 longer than I was first thinking. So I'm going to do 4 of this one, and of course number 4 is the closure up again. But again, this way, squeeze it, press it down this way, and I'm going to do some glue on this side, because I'm going to make this one a little longer. Again, squeeze it, and we're going to make this one longer. So, and we're going to let this dry in. Of course, we are going to remove the glue we don't need, and we're going to make a nice straight line again in this way, and we're going to let this dry. So we are going to put our frame together. So we're going to place this on the side. We are going to do some glue on this side. Of course, we need enough glue, and we're going to place it over here, and we're going to do this one, of course, on this side. We're going to place it over here, and we make a nice straight line again. And of course, you can place them straight up. But we also need this one, and you see already this one has a little bit of a not totally a straight side. So I'm going to look for this one, and I'm going to glue this one on top of here. So again, we're going to make a nice straight line, and we're going to try to make it a nice, and we just do. So you see already 2 here, 2 here. This is the bottom, 2 of 3 here, and we're going to do this. This one is the one with 7 blocks in a row. So, and we're going to let this dry in for a couple of minutes. So he's almost dried up. What I'm going to do, it is just my own preference. I did 2 blocks glued together, and I'm going to glue them this way, because then you don't see really straight into the back side of the truck, but you don't have to do it. You can just leave it open if you like this better. So I'm going to glue this one on the side, and this way. But of course, like I said, you don't have to do it. It's just what I like better. So I'm going to let this dry also a couple of minutes, and then we're going to build everything together. I let it dry in. I'm going to get now my glue, and I'm going to go easily over the lines, and very easy go around in a thin line. We're going to go this way, and we keep it a little on the inside, and we go over here, and we go over here. We use a loose block because later we're going to glue this as a measurement. So we need to have sure that we have it in a straight line. What we're going to do, we're going to place this one, and that is the one with the sides over here. So you have to look for, this is the, of course, the window, and we need to place it on top of here. So be sure that you have it in a straight line, like this. And I have to measure it out. And of course, I'm going to look for this way, and I'm going to give it some pressure. like this, and we're going to let this dry in for at least, I think, a half hour. In the meantime, while our first piece is drying, I'm going to take 2 bigger blocks and I'm going to make a nice straight line like this, and I'm going to place this one, of course, on top this way in a nice line. I'm going to show you in a moment when he is dried in a little, then I'm going to show you exactly how he's looking like. You see, this is what I mean, just on the tops, and just let it dry in for a couple of minutes again. So he is dried in for a half hour. I'm going to try to turn it over, and this way I'm going to lay it on this side. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to look for how everything is looking right now, because I want to see if I need some adjustment, if I have to make things a little bit different, of course. So I'm going to look for probably, I think I'm going to do also for a little roof, because I think it's a little bit too little. So I'm going to make a block of 5, and this way I'm going to get 5 blocks, and I'm going to glue them together, very easy. And you don't have to do it, of course. This is just something I like. It is an experiment, but maybe it's one big failure. We will see. Normally I make my trucks different, but I thought maybe you can also make it this way. But you never know if this will work or not. So we will see. It's always an adventure how it will turn out. I let this dry. Now we are gluing the last pieces. I have 2 of these ones. You see already, very easy to glue. So I'm going to glue them on each side. So I'm going to do some glue over here, and this way I'm going to place it on the bottom, and if everything is correctly, of course I need to do a little on here too, because or else it doesn't fit totally, and it needs a little touch of glue over here. And here we do the same, of course. We do on the underside some glue, and we do a little on the side of the truck. I think that's better than I do it on the other one. So I'm going to place it down again, even with the top, and this way we're going to make a nice straight line. It's a little bit of puzzling, but just take your time. Everything has to come in place, but of course. And now I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to have it in a straight line with the one on top. So I'm going to do a little in the middle over here, and I'm going to place this one in the same straight line with this one, of course, and get it right. Of course, he's turning a little bit around, but that's not what we want. And I have to look for this way. And now we need the block of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see this one, and we have to glue this on top of here. And we do some glue, because this will be the roof, but you don't have to do it. This is just something I like, but maybe later I say I never should have done it. So bear with me. I have to see if it is correct or not. So I'm just going to try it. So, and I'm going to let this dry in also. And then we have, I hope, all the pieces before we go to do the last piece of the truck on top of here. So I only let it dry in for a couple of minutes, and everything what you want to do on it, just do it. If you want to do, I did a last block on the side on here to give it a little bit more closure. But now I'm going to do on all pieces, I'm going to do some glue. And of course, take your time for it and just go over it in a straight line. And we are hoping that the other part of our truck is fitting nicely. You never know. You never know. With DIYing, you always have to look for if it works or not. So we will see. And now I'm going to do my roof. And I don't know if this one is really looking great. We will see. So that's always a great thing. I make it for you. And if it doesn't work, you don't have to make it. It's always very easy to do. So I'm going to get my piece over here. and make sure that I have it in a straight line. And this way, I'm just going to lay it down, this one over here. And I have to look for if I have it all in a straight line. I call so many times straight line, but we really have to get it in a straight line. And now, because you only let it dry in for a couple of minutes, you still can redo it. And that's the greater thing, because you still need to adjust some pieces most of the time. So like this, we're going to double it up and squeeze it. And we're going to just go around each corner and look for which you are missing or which is not totally fitting. Just go around it. I'm going to let this dry in now, at least for a couple of hours. So in the meantime, while the other truck is drying, I have here the truck for the smaller blocks. You need two pieces of 3 and you place them on this side. And of course we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 for the bottom. And then you can close it up, of course, if you want to do it with your of course with your sides. Of course I have to say, because this is a little bit different than I have mine, I think I'm going to, you need 4 on this side if you want to close the motor department also in. Then you need 4 blocks over here and here 3. But this is normally, of course, you have 2 sides, and this will be normally on the outside, and you have a flat place like this. So, and you also need 1 on this side. Of course, everything is falling down this way, so you also have a little overlay on the truck. So you need 4 if you want to close it up, and you go and you build further, and you need 3 pieces, and I would go for close everything up, and just under the window you can go further. And for me it's also a little bit thinking how you want to do it. So of course I'm going to do this way, and I'm going to do this one over here, and then another one over here, and then I would stop. So I will show you now the numbers that you need. So you need 4 over here, you need a 3 over here, and you need a place. This one you can place on top, because you also have on that side the 2, but he's now a little bit too high because I have him on my table. And you have 1 over here, you can close it up. So 4, 3, and you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and here 1, 2, 3. I have to look right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 2 on this side down. And then you can close it up. Of course, if you want to have a roof, also like I have to look for if you need here 1, 2, I need a couple of the blocks extra, 3, 4, 5. And you see already, then you can close the roof in, and I would place it on top over here, this way over here, and then you can also close up your roof again, and the same like we did. So if you I would keep it very simple, very easy this way. And I'm going to do the roof, and then I'm going to do the next one on top. And then later you also have here a little opening for putting your wheels on the back side, and you see that also in the moment when I do it with my other truck. So this is how you use your smaller blocks. And here you see the frame of our truck. And of course I am very happy eventually how it turned out, but he's still not looking like a truck. You also can use him like a boat. So it still has to look more like a truck. But I'm going to go, I was missing some little mirrors on the side, and I'm missing on the front also a little piece. I'm going to glue this together, and then we are going to paint it. So I'm just going to do this because I like it. You don't have to do it again. So I'm going to do on the sides, I'm going to give them some kind of mirrors, but also in this one you don't have to do it. And I'm going to glue this on the side, very easy, and I'm going to press it down. I'm going to lay this one on the side and make sure that he stays in place, and then I'm going to do the other one. But first I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to do 2 blocks and I'm doing a small line over here and I'm going to place this one over here. So very easy, and just squeeze it, press it down and also let it dry in only for a couple of minutes. For the truck, I'm going to paint it in the sand color, but of course choose any color, maybe you like a red truck better or a green one, or maybe something else. Do whatever you think it's right. And I'm just going to give it a nice little layer of my sand color paint. And I like this kind of color because you still can see the wood most of the time. You still can, if you do it not too thick, you still can see the wood through it. So, and I'm really loving that. So I'm going to do this and take my time for it. And then we're going to do the wheels. And you see already, this is how our truck already for so far is looking like, with some paint on top of it. He already starting a little bit to look more like a truck. I'm going to place it beside. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get 12 blocks and I'm going to make blocks of 3 because we need, of course, our wheels. We're going to glue them together and of course we're going to do one on this one. And we use this one as a closure up. Again, squeeze it and press it down. And we're going to do with this one the same and try to get at least the blocks a little bit fitting to each other, because if you want to make a round on top of it, you need at least a straight block. So if you can have it, maybe if you can look in your blocks, you can do the straight ones and use the other ones for other pieces. Again, this one is also coming up, and I'm going to do the last one, very easy, and this one, and I do a little bit more in this, and then I'm going to use number 3 as a close-up. Again, we're going to let this dry and then I'm going to make a nice round on it and I'm going to saw them out with my jigsaw. But I think already how you know how to do that. So please, I hope you're going to try also use your jigsaw if you have one. And I bought mine, especially for me with Lidl, I don't know how you call it. At least here in the Netherlands we say Lidl, but he was only, I think, 40 euros if I am correctly, with a battery with it. So you have wireless free jigsaw. So it's always nice to have. So I hope you give it a try because you will have lots of fun with it. So I'm going to, like I said, let them dry, make a round, and I'm going to saw them out. You see already I have all the 4 rounds cut out and I have now 4 wheels. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my black chalkboard paint, schoolboard paint, how you call it. And I'm just going to give it, first layer will be a black color totally. But later I'm going to do over it with, in the middle, a little round with some darker gray. So, but you can do maybe lighter gray, you can do brown, do anything you like. But I'm going to choose for the black and the darker gray. So I have a little change of plans. I did go for the black and of course I tried the gray, but I didn't like it. So I painted it over and it's black again now. And I'm going to use the chalk paint the same way color I did with my truck. So I'm going to very easily just go inside and I'm going to make a nice little round, but from the same color that I have. And if you mix it a little bit, it turns also a little bit in the lighter gray. So I hope that this will look nice. So we will see. So I will experiment a little bit and you will see in a moment if I like it or not. You see already my wheels are dry and I am really happy with the sand gray color, because if you do it on black, it's also shining a little bit black through. So I'm really happy with this one. I'm going to let this dry. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to make some prints for on the sides of our truck. So I'm going to go to my computer and I'm going to get my prints and I will cut them out. And here you see are my prints, and of course I know you see it backwards, don't worry, later you will see the right way. I'm going to cut them out. This is for the sides and this one is for to make a little sign for on the back side. I can just place on the back side, but you will see that in a moment. So I'm going to cut them out and we're going to Mod Podge it on the side. So I have here my little print I am going to use on the side of our truck. So I'm going to lay it down this way, and of course I know you don't see it very very great, but I'm going to show you later on. So I'm going to do it exactly in the middle of the door. So I'm going to get a piece of kitchen towel. This way I always do a clean kitchen towel, place my print over here, and I'm going to get my Mod Podge, and I'm going to Mod Podge it on top of like this. And you see already my brush was not totally clean because it's already coming black through. So I'm going to place it in the middle over here, and I'm going to make a nice straight line and this way, and I'm going to move over and try not to get Mod Podge on the front of the print because I like a little bit of the matte finish. But if you like a shiny finish, of course go over it. If it is dried up, go over it for again a new layer. But you see, I'm really happy with this result, so I'm going to turn it over and do the next one also. So I have the print on my truck, and I'm going to use a little canvas, and I bought them already a while ago, so but I never knew what to do with it. So now I'm going to get my little print like this on top of my canvas. So very easily I'm going to look for if he's fitting all right. He is fitting, so I'm just going to do some Mod Podge on the frame print, and also do on the sides because he will be a little overlay over it. But you can easily use a piece of cardboard, so don't worry, you can do anything you like. So I'm going to go over it, and of course don't forget the other side, and this way, and I'm going to get my print on top. Very easy. I'm going to work my way on the print and make sure that I have it in the right spot, and this way, and be sure that I have it straight and over here. And now I'm going to make my way around the sides and this way, and you see already I need some work with it, but of course at the end it will be looking great. So now my wheels are dried in. Of course I don't know if I'm going to work with it. I'll give it another layer, we will see. But first I'm going to glue them on the sides, and again you can glue them on the inside. Of course I have to show you can do it on the inside over here, but you can also do it on the outside. I'm going to choose for the outside, so I'm going to glue both of them over here. I think I'm going to look for where I want to have it exactly. I think over here. So I'm going to glue, but that's just a personal privilege. So don't just do whatever you think and feels right. So I'm going to go for this one. So I'm going to glue them with my wood glue, but if you have a better glue, it's also fine too. And here you see how our planter truck turned out. Of course, on the back side I have a cute little sign because there's a space you can place a little signs into, but later you will see it a little bit better. On my table you see already some greenery, some berries, some Christmas trees, some green berries, and some bells. So I'm going to do a little bit of decoration inside of the planter, but of course, and then after that you will see the quick impression. So first I'm going to start with a bigger piece like this. I have a really big one, and I have an in between like this. So this is a little bit in between, but this is really a bigger one. Now you can go, if you're going to place it inside, you can go for a bigger one, but this one is really much too big. So I think I'm going to cut it over here, and I will see how this will look like. Of course I have to cut it this way, and then I'm going to squeeze it in a little around here. And of course I'm doing it for the Christmas season, but of course you can do it for any season at all. So do the greenery the way you want to have it. Of course we are going to place it oversized over this way and a little bit to this side. And most of the time I'm always doing something, and sometimes I have really no idea, but that's the greatest thing. I'm going to go for one on this direction, on the other side, like this. And I'm going to place a couple of the smaller ones, like this, the 3 ones over here on the side and one on this side. So we get a nice filling in between. Now we are going to give it some Christmas trees, and I'm going to have a bigger one and I have a smaller one. And I'm going to do the bigger one, and I'm going to try to get it inside in the middle, a little like this way over here. And I'm going to do one on this side, and I'm going to do one from the same height on this side, of course over here. I'm going to squeeze it in, and like this. It looks a little strange, but believe me, later you will see it. And of course I have to get you up a little bit this way. And now I'm going to look for a smaller one over here, and we do another smaller one on this side. So very easy this way. And now we're going to do some red berries. So I have my trees inside. I did shorten up the inside a little bit shorter because for me it was a little bit too long. So I'm going to get now some red berries, and I'm doing them from a garland. I always buy a garland. A lot of you already know that. But I'm going to place some berries in between over here. Just let them come over it and a little bit down like this. And of course this is with wire, so you can work with them, and you just squeeze in your tree again. And I'm going to go so around and around with my berries. So again, cut off a little piece, and I'm going to place them down. Also work a little bit with them and just squeeze them in over here. And I'm going to do on 4 sides. So the berries are in, and now I have a couple of the greenery stems, also very easy, with some green berries. And I'm going to place them in also with little touches, of course, also on 4 sides, but not too much. And then you see the quick impression. And here you see a quick impression of our tumbling tile blocks planter, and of course made in the shape of a truck. So I am really happy at the end how it turned out. Of course, the next time I will probably do again a couple of things different, but for a planter, and I did it for the Christmas season, but you also can do some IKEA plants inside of here, and just do whatever you think is right. You can use it for the fall season because you can use this for any season. Of course, I hope you did this DIY together with me, and you also have right now your own little truck. And even if you use the smaller blocks, you have right now also a small but a nice truck. So I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, if you're not subscribed to my channel, I hope you will click the red subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. It would help my channel a lot to grow. Enough talking. I wish you all an amazing day and see you next time. Bye.